So it is now the moment of truth for Palantir and honestly a lot of these software stocks on the chart. So let's dive into it, break down the charts, and go over what I'm looking to do with Palantir, other software stocks, and overall where my head's at. So guys, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and join my Patreon if you want to keep up with my portfolio updates, trades, investments, and if you want to be a part of my private Discord, that's on Patreon. Link down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stocks-surfs.com/Patreon. And now let's dive into it. So Palantir has been on an insane rally, and not to toot my own horn, but we called this exact rally out, and in fact, we profited off of it, right? We made a trade, well, I made a trade. You guys have to do your own research, but we were buying down at 109. I bought some at 117, and now it's all the way to 132. And we talked about how, look, this stock was getting way too beaten down, like a lot of these software stocks were, right? And it was due for a relief rally, and we got it. Palantir is now up from 105 to about 132. That is a 25% move in about a week. And is it overdone? Is it way overbought now? Not necessarily, but it is creeping up more towards being overbought than oversold. So I think a lot of people are going to start fading Palantir stock here, maybe selling into the strength and avoiding it to see, okay, what is going to happen at this trend line. This resistance, man, is as rock hard as it gets, right? I mean, Palantir has failed every time this year at this trend line. Literally, I'm not exaggerating, man. Every single time, well, maybe except for this one-off run back in June, end of May, early June, but every time we've gotten hit, you know, we've tested this trend line, we've gotten hit, and I'm not too convinced that this time's going to be different, right? Until we get proven that, which, again, based on the data, based on the history, you know, 9 out of the last 10 times we've tested it, we've gotten hit. So in my opinion, Palantir, I'm avoiding it here, especially as a trade, maybe, okay, if you want to buy for 5-10 years out, who gives a crap what the chart looks like, whether you're buying at 120, 25, 30, 32. If you're buying for 5-10 years out, it's not going to make that much of a difference. But if you're looking to enter a trade, a short-term trade, I don't know if now's the best time. You know, again, if you asked me a week or two ago, yeah, I was buying it up. But I'm out of the stock now, you know, for my trade. I locked in profits at about 125.26. And the idea of the trade, and any trade for that matter, is not to get the entire move. A lot of people get too greedy. They want to time the bottom perfectly and the top perfectly. That's not going to happen, right? A lot of the time, most of the time. Your goal should be, okay, how much of this move can I actually make money on, you know? And again, I didn't make all the money that, you know, was possible to make because I didn't time the top and bottom, but I got some money out of the stock, out of the trade within this rebound, which is what the goal should be with every trade. You don't want to maximize every trade, get too greedy. You want to be able to get in and out, get your money, get your target percentage, right? And get the heck out. And that's exactly what I did. And now I'm looking at it again as I'm not going to short it, look, but I'm going to avoid it at this point. And if we do get another big drop in Palantir, look, I'm all for buying back in, getting back into the trade. But for now, I'm avoiding it as this is the moment of truth, you know, for the stock, for the bulls in the short term. Obviously, long term, different story. But, you know, this is a spot where if the bulls somehow break through, I mean, hey, it could be the start of a full-on reversal. But I just don't think we're going to see that quite yet. And again, it's the moment of truth for a lot of these software stocks. You know, we covered ServiceNow in my previous video. I like the setup here, but it's not fully breaking out yet. You know, until it takes out 110.12, the bears might still knock this thing down, but the setup does look good on ServiceNow. IGV as well. It looks decent, but it's not fully out of the woods yet. You know what I mean? buyers are coming in. We are seeing higher lows being made, but we're just barely above these moving averages and barely above the highs from a couple weeks ago. So IGV looks decent, but it's not fully there yet. So these next couple of days, man, for IGV, ServiceNow, Palantir, a lot of these names, CRM, Adobe, right? It's going to be the moment of truth. CRM is now testing the 180 moving average, which that's been resistance all year. Adobe's testing the same trend line. That's been resistance all year. What's another one? Intuit, if I pull that up, you guessed it, that's testing the moving averages as well. So get ready, guys. This is going to be big. And for me, look, I'm looking to trade ServiceNow, like I said in that previous video, if this setup plays out. And honestly, IGV as well, which these actually look pretty good chart-wise. A lot better than Palantir, some of these other names. But again, they're not fully breaking out yet. So don't get too excited. But I'll keep you guys posted, especially if you're in my Patreon, if you're in the Discord, where we're talking all day, going back and forth. I'll keep you guys posted on the charts and any moves that I look to make. But yeah, IGV clearly is putting in a inverse head and shoulders. You're seeing it right here. Boom, boom, boom. But we now have to follow it with an actual breakout, which I think will come above 95, $100 a share. And yeah, that's what I'm watching it for. And again, ServiceNow 110, 112. If that breaks, I think it's going to fly. But we have to wait for it. We have to wait for the confirmation. At least that's what I'm doing, guys. What are you doing? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe. I think 50% of you, at least on YouTube, watch the content, which I appreciate that, but you're not subscribing. So hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button on Facebook. We're actually almost at 100,000 followers on Facebook, which is insane. So guys, hit that follow button. And like I mentioned in that last video, earnings season is creeping up. Big tech earnings season is creeping up, and one that I like a lot right now, I love the setup, Alphabet, ticker GOOG or GOOGL, depending on obviously what class of shares you're looking at. But Alphabet, man, they have earnings coming up on the 23rd, so about 2-3 weeks from today, and the stock saw a nice pullback, nice correction from around $400 down to about $335, a nice 16% drawdown, not quite yet a bear market, right? But it got in correction territory, and now Alphabet is starting to put in an inverse head and shoulders breakout, and we're starting to take out the 180 moving average for the first time on this 4-hour chart since the middle of May, right? Finally, end of May. So this stock looks like it's strong on the charts. Obviously, we all know the fundamentals are strong. And I get asked all the time about Google. Look, I'm long. It's one of my longest held positions, but I'm just holding. I'm not buying here because I was buying so much before the big rip, before Gemini really got its flowers. Do you guys remember that? Google literally like 2 years ago was not a dead stock by any means, but they were going through this Google Chrome lawsuit, right? They were trying to break up Google Chrome. Gemini wasn't getting its flowers. ChatGPT was just dominating. And then all of a sudden, within the last 12 to 24 months, the lawsuit went away with Google Chrome, to keep it in layman's terms. Gemini, people realized, holy crap, Gemini 3 is amazing. All these models are arguably better than ChatGPT, what Gemini has. Now we have Claude, obviously, which that came recently, right? Within the last, year, whatever. But now it's, Claude's everywhere. But at that time, like it was 10 years ago, literally like 2 years ago, it was Gemini, ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was dominating, and the market had its almost ChatGPT moment with Google. Google had that moment, and the stock finally woke up, and it went from 150 to 60, 70, all the way to like $300 like that. And I was buying a bunch in this pocket right here. So I'm not adding more here, But you bet your, you know what, I'm not selling either. I'm holding, and I'm happy to do that. I think Alphabet is one of the best tech companies, and they're only trading at 25 times, I believe, forward earnings. So if you're not already in it, you could argue it's not a bad time to actually look at it. They're about to grow 20% year over year on the top line, which for a $4.5 trillion company trading at 25 times forward earnings, that's pretty good. Not a bad deal, in my opinion. Not bargain basement value, but definitely you could argue. I mean, I could argue, hey, I'm buying some Google here, guys. I could average in, but again, I have so many shares to the point where I've built out the position already. I'm letting it ride. It's at that point for Google. And, sometimes, yeah, man, once a stock gets to that point, let's say you buy it for a couple of years, it goes up a lot. It could just be a hold for a while. You don't always have to buy a stock every month or add to it all the time. There are stocks which I haven't really bought in a while, and they're just holds in my portfolio. Google, Alphabet is one of those. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Run the likes up. Again, make sure to subscribe and join my Patreon if you want to keep up with my actual portfolio updates, trades, investments. If you want to be a part of my private Discord, all that's linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stockssurfs.com/Patreon. I'll see you guys in there. And with that being said, peace out. Have a great rest of your day.